Hello, everybody. Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. It is Sunday. It is. It's Sunday. It really is.
It really
Tomorrow's Monday, you know, where everybody has a case of the Mondays. So today I figured we'd sew half square triangles to make up for the fact that tomorrow's going to suck. Because it always does. Because it's Monday. Anyways, hello, everybody. Let's see who's all here while we get started.
Monday's not going to be a bad day.
I know, Mondays. I'm just messing around. Everybody hates Monday. We got Kim, Susan, Heather, Dawn, Beverly, Melody, Brenda, and I lost the screen because the video started. Grace, Carla, Tracy, Heather, Aldia. I don't even know where I am now. Karen, Sandra, so many more. Sorry, guys. It jumped like 4 times for that to start. Okay. Anyway, so yes, I'm going to start half square triangles, but they're going to be for something. So I have this whole entire lovely bag filled with 5-inch squares that are some barely purple, so lavender, some pretty pink, some white, some baby blue or sky blue, yellow, like not mustard. It's really light. Obviously, the camera doesn't always get that too good. It's like a sunshine yellow. And then a darker lavender, but not dark purple. It's a darker lavender. And then a whole crap bunch of teal. Like a teal. That's teal. And now I'm going to turn all of this into half square triangles because they're 5-inch squares and they're going to equal 4.5-inch half square triangles, which are going to match this other bag. I've been going through my fabric room and cleaning boxes of stuff up and all sorts of things. And so I pressed a bunch of what were 5-inch squares and turned them into 4.5-inch squares because they were wonky. And now I have a pile of 132 4.5-inch squares here that are like, they're pinned together, but they're flower prints with little bees and flowers and so on and so forth. I'm presuming that these were a layer cake originally, and all the pieces were not there because there's 132, and that doesn't equal a layer cake cut in half twice. So I'm going to use these mixed with half square triangles to make a however big quilt I can get out of however many half square triangles here, because I didn't count how many pieces were here. I only counted how many pieces were here. So I'm going to put them all together and make a quilt. And I did put a little notation, did I? Yeah, on here. If I was to do just these 4.5-inch squares, 10 across by 13 down, I would only get a 40 by 52 quilt. So I did the, like partial math, and I figured, you know what, that's too small, 40 by 50. So I need to go bigger, and that's when I said, oh, wait, I have all these 5-inch squares. So I got all that pressed in, and we're going to do half square triangles. And if you've never made a half square triangle, it is absolutely super easy to do. I'm going to sew them all on both sides of an invisibly drawn line, because I don't draw my line. I have seam tape, which you could find on Fat Quarter Shop. You could find it on Connecting Thread. You can find it all over the internet. It's called seam tape, just so you know. And I'm going to use that as my guide for my half square triangles. And I'm just going to make combinations of all these colors until I run out of colors. There's probably going to be more combinations of the teal with colors than anything, but I'm going to do my best to just grab a multiple amount of just randomness. That way I have a random amount for that. And then for trimming, when I get to that part, because I'm going to be sewing half square triangles for a while, when I do get to the trimming part, I'm going to use the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer. This thing I hate, but I love at the same time. I just always forget to, if you guys have watched videos, I always forget to trim the triangle parts, the dog ears off. I always forget to go into that and remove those. And that's the whole point of that ruler, right? I have a love-hate relationship with it. Anyway, so I'm just going to start. I'm going to literally just grab and sew, grab and sew. And I'm going to do one side of as many pieces as I have a big pile, and then I'll flip them around, do another side, and then I'll keep going.
What's your shirt say?
My shirt, This one's kind of tight now that it's been washed. It says it's always, or it's all fun and games until the bobbin runs out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And wearing a bra doesn't help it. It's making it tighter on my neck. All right. Okay, here we go. Half square triangles. I'm just going to sew on both sides of my invisibly drawn line while you guys say hi and howdy and all that kind of stuff and ask questions and whatever in the chat while I do this. We'll do pink and yellow. I need to bring these closer to me. It feels like they're so far away from me. There we go. That's better. So I'm just going to make a lot of combos. It's probably going to take a while. It's probably going to take a while to trim them all, too, when I get to that part. Thumper is sleeping on a kitchen chair. He does not want to be on camera today, apparently. Yeah. He goes and plays musical chairs. Okay, is this one even 5 inches? Some of these, I mean, okay, so that one must be bigger than 5 inches? Yeah, okay. They are totally different sizes, so we're just going to center it on there as best as possible, and sew on one side. Like I said, these weren't perfect. They were from the scraps, and I just, wow, some of them are shorter. We're just going to assume they're all the size they need to be. If anything, I can sew a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, you know, which is not that hard to do. It's just moving the point that I'm lining up over a smidgen. You know, just in case it's the wrong size. We want them to be 4.5 inches. They say for best results to sew a 4-inch over doing the 3 7/8 when making half square triangles. You know, like some patterns will say they want you to make a bunch of 4.5 inch unfinished half square triangles, and they'll have you cut 4 7/8 inch. This gives you more room.
Where do you put the bottom point of the fabric on the seam tape?
Okay, so the seam tape has, let me grab it so that Scott can hold it up to the camera. This is what it looks like. It comes on a roll like that. There's 3 lines on it, 2 black and a red. If you are sewing from corner to corner, you would line your points up on the red line. We are making 2 at a time half square triangles, so we are lining up our point on the black line. So I'm starting on one side, you know, with my foot on the one side of the half square triangle at the point. I'm putting it at the tip point of my 1/4 inch part of my rule or my foot. And then I'm lining that bottom point, the bottom point, up on a black line, which is on this side. Although sometimes I end up switching position, but that's what it is. It has made my life so much easier. And you know, in the beginning, I never really marked my half square triangles anyway. I just made them, but this keeps me sewing straight, which helps. And I made my piece of tape go all the way to the edge of my extension table. That way I always, you know, get my seam correct. I need to start using more of these teals because there's so many of them. And if I have a bunch of teal left over, it'll be fine. I will make it work. Whatever it is that I am making here. I needed something to do today, and I have all these piles of things that, you know, I can do. So I might as well sew them. Because, well, they're just going to sit there otherwise. This one doesn't look 5 inches. It is short ever so slightly. We'll center it on there in hopes that we get what we're looking for out of it. like I said, these squares weren't perfect, but I figured, you know, I can make 4.5-inch triangles out of them to go with my lovely color of gardeny theme squares. I probably could have took the time and measured it all, but you know, that just takes forever, and you know, sewing it is a lot faster, and if it doesn't end up the size we want, then we won't use it. It'll go in my orphan block bin, which is highly, highly full. It is overflowing full. It's time I make an orphan block quilt eventually. Eventually. My goal here is, what's in my mind, is making half square triangles and having every other block be half square triangle and then one of those, half square triangle, one of those. You know what I mean? That way I could have a nice big quilt and it'll have some, you know, design to it, I guess. Randomness, but still. It'll be nice. Hopefully. Pretty sure, because, you know, oops, that's 2 pieces. All quilts are nice. Even if I mess them up. Come on. Line up. There we go.
Oh, Rose made her first quilted card today.
All what?
Rose made her first quilted card today.
Oh, I'm so glad you made your first quilted card, Rose. They are so fun and they are so addicting. You know, I've made so many of them. I made another one the other day, over there somewhere in my pile. Oh, wow, this one's super short. How big is that? Not 5. I'm not going to use that piece. That one's like super. And that one is too. And that one is not. Okay. Some of these are like really cut. I probably should have paid attention to that.
People were talking about your good Walmart deal.
Oh, my good Walmart deal. Yes. And I found a place to put it all because I cleaned my closet out. Not this one, but the other one. That one is, the closet in there is where I keep finished quilts and, what else do I keep in there? Finished quilts and, there's a word. My clothing fabric. The stuff that I don't use for sewing, for quilting. Although I don't make that many clothes, you know, but I'd like to make more. Short. Oh, it's not. I'm gonna just measure these as I go, I guess, right here on this lovely thing, a ruler. As long as they're close to 5 inches, that's all that matters. Honestly, you know, that could be a job for you. You want to lay these on here as quick as you can and see what's 5 inches. Or do you want to not do that? Oh, that's too short.
Bring it over here. I gotta do it while doing this.
Not that. I'm gonna make it myself a pile though. That way I don't have to rely on yours. You literally just lay it on here, and if it lands within 5 inches, just lay them on here. There's 5 right there. 5. As long as it touches both of these and both of these lines, I'm good. If it doesn't, put it in that pile, the discard pile.
That's up here. I see it.
Give him something to do since we won't be ironing probably today because we're just doing the making of the half square triangles. And then I got to trim them all and blah, 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 blah. So, you know.
Claudia got her table runner. She says it's pretty.
Claudia got her table runner. It's pretty. Oh, that's awesome.
And it was on Rose.
It always is. When I tell you guys something, it's beautiful in person than it is on camera, or it's more vibrant in person than on camera. It really, truly is. Because my camera absolutely does not catch the realism of colors and the textures of quilting and everything, you know, it doesn't even come close.
Where'd you get your t-shirt from?
My shirt was sent to me by a lovely viewer out there. It was in my Christmas mail. Was it Christmas?
Probably.
Yeah, it was Christmas.
So far, I haven't found one that's 5 inches.
You haven't found one that is 5 inches?
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, there, one.
Seriously?
There you go. Yes. First one. The rest of these are not. They're right under. They're like 4 and 7/8.
Well, I guess I ain't going to be using as much teal as I thought.
Four and 7/8 for.
I can use the 4 and 7/8 on this, I think.
I mean, they're like right under it.
I need some more.
They're right under it. Oh, some of them are sewed on.
Oh, get rid, put it in the discard pile.
Yeah, it's one of your 5. That's all I got for you. Almost every one is not.
Well, I'll just make more combos of the other ones. And while you do that, I can just turn this pile around and do the opposite direction.
Barely there, do they count?
If it's like right at it, then I can use it. Like I was telling the audience, you can use 4 and 7/8 inch squares to make half square triangles if you draw your line and sew on both sides of your drawn line.
Some are over, some are like barely.
That's for like barely have to trim half square triangles, you know? I don't think there's enough pink. Let's add another pink. All right, I'm gonna flip these around and go the opposite
Like
direction.
It's like barely under.
Oh, that's fine, I can use
Does that
that.
count?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
All right, just stick it right here now because I'm gonna sew the opposite direction of this stack. I'm literally just gonna put it all on my lap. And try to prevent the pulling and tugging because we don't want the pulling and tugging. This goes pretty quick if you sew like me. Even if you don't, half square triangles are easy to chain piece. What?
Everybody's so like you, so you know that.
All right, this is starting to pull and tug. We don't want that.
You got a good stack now.
Okay. Yeah, originally I wanted to just do all these combinations with just the teal, but then I realized that would just be too much. So I figured I would mix it up a bit, you know, and have more than just teal. Am I making what?
Special pattern with them?
I'm using these HSTs to go along with regular 4.5-inch squares of a print, and every other square is going to be a print or a half square triangle. I think it will be okay. It will look fine. And I'll just put them in random orders, directions, because there'll be no HST touching an HST. It'll be all opposites. They're close. These are 5-inch. I'm pretty sure these are 5-inch. See, if I lay it here, yeah, these are 5-inch. These are from most likely from pre-cuts.
Why am I measuring the green?
Because those ones are messed up. Those ones were wonky and some had straight edges, so they were cut. It is from scraps. Oh, well, how many did I ghost sew? I only ghost sewed 2. All right, gotta change a bobbin. I'm gonna finish this one off real quick because that one's
bobbin change
right here next to me.
As your shirt said, it's all fun until the bobbin runs out.
Yeah, just like my shirt says. It's all fun until the bobbin runs out. And it's gonna run out again soon because I just literally put not even half a bobbin in there, but I'm trying to finish it up. I just want to end with an almost equal amount to how many 132 squares that I have of that. So here's this lovely stack. I just need to separate them.
Do you ever keep a stash of half square triangles?
I do not keep a stash of half square triangles, no, because every project is different. I'm going to make some other combos though. I need a yellow and white combo.
Did your table come with the machine?
Did my table what?
Come with your machine.
The extension table, yes, it comes with the machine. I have learned.
No, I think she's talking about the whole desk.
Oh, my whole desk did not come with my machine. It's an office desk that we got for free by paying attention to Facebook Marketplace. And I, for years, was looking for a table or a desk that had the drawers on the left side and not the right side, because I sew on the right side and I need the left side to hold everything up. I didn't want to have to be on that side of the desk with everything hanging off. I wanted a full desk use.
Oh, did the extension table come with it?
Yes, the extension table came with the machine. And what I was going to say about that was I have learned over the years from many of you viewers out there that you have bought Juki TL 2010Qs and you didn't get an extension table. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you bought it from SewingMachinesPlus, you will get the extension table because it comes with it. The box that they send the Juki TL 2010Q in, and I've got 2 of them so far, comes with the extension table. My Juki HZL F600 came with an extension table. My little brother PRS, not PRS, brother SQ9285 came with an extension table. There's room in the box for it. So if yours didn't come with one, the company gypped you. They took it out and they're selling it separately. Just thought I'd let you know. I've learned that from other subscribers out there that some are not coming with it. And I think that's kind of messed up because the box comes with it. The room that's in the box is for that. Yeah, so there's that. I mean, if you bought yours used from somewhere, then maybe they didn't have an extension table, but it should have it. Making other combos right now, other than the teal color.
You got a lot of teal.
Yeah, I don't want the teal to overpower.
I'm making your stack.
You know.
Now.
Oop, there's two there. Let's do a light purple and a pink and yellow. And I'm assuming, back to that conversation, I'm assuming that all the TL models, because there isn't just the TL 2010Q, there's the TL 18, TL 15, there's, you know, all those models should all have their extension tables come with it. Let's do blue with white. Haven't done that, I don't think. Let's do this light purple with a dark purple, because I don't think I've done that. Yeah. Let's do a light teal. Let's do a dark purple and a pink. I probably won't have an equal number of them, but like I said, I'm just going to mix and match them throughout the thing. I think in turn, I'm just going to make some, I think I'm going to turn it into 4 patches where there's 2 of the prints with 2 half square triangles. That way I can build a quilt faster, I think.
Everybody's saying it's Easter colored.
Yes, definitely Easter colored. All the prints are Easter colored. And guess what's going to be coming up is Easter. Next month.
What did you use for your large ironing?
My large ironing board, there is a video on it from a long time ago. It's very horrible quality, but it gives you the gist of it. It is a regular ironing board, the actual folding kind of ironing board, and it's the mesh kind. It has the mesh, so it has holes in it, you know. With a 1/4 inch plywood on top that's 24 by 64, somewhere in there, 27 by 64, something like that. And then we did set in bolt drilling, and it's over the holes that are on the actual existing ironing board top, and then bolted down into there with screws and locks underneath, and then flipped upside down, completely covered with 2, right now it has 2 layers of wool, but you would never even know because it's so flat, it's like ironing on the wood. And then it had a layer of cotton. It needs to be redid. I just haven't got to. I keep saying I'm going to do it and going to do it, and I haven't, you know, because we always do that. We say we're going to do something and we don't. But Jim posted a link to the video, which kind of just gives you an overview of how we made it. It doesn't show the actual drilling part, but it does show where we drilled the holes, and I explain it there. And I wouldn't suggest, just because of the weight, don't go any bigger than what I have, the 27 by 64. Don't go any bigger than that, because the ironing board itself, it's not as sturdy as you think. It kind of does wobble a little bit. So you don't want to take the chances of it falling or collapsing because it's too heavy. So don't go bigger than the 1/4 inch plywood and a certain size. But I do 100% believe that a rectangular ironing board is way better than for quilters than a regular ironing board that has the curve, which is what this has. It had the curve at the front for ironing sleeves and pant legs and so on and so forth. That is not the kind of ironing board for quilters, because when you press a whole quilt top, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you put the whole quilt top on it and you're trying to press it to be done with it so that you can finally quilt it, that whole entire quilt top is hanging off that curve, that corner. And if you think about it, now that curve is pulling your freshly pressed fabric and yanking it with the weight. So what it's doing is it's stretching it around that curve. So when you go to quilt it or whatever, you're going to have all these spots from when you adjusted it to iron it. They're going to have these little tiny bows to them because it's yanking the whole weight of the quilt top off of that curved corner, therefore messing up your quilt. So I highly, highly recommend, and they do sell them, square rectangular ironing boards. I highly recommend a rectangular board because you're equally placing that weight of the quilt over 4 corners instead of over a curved corner. Does that make any sense? It does to me. I'm hoping it does to you. So if you're a new quilter and you found yourself a rectangular ironing board, or you make one out of a desk, like I have all this room on my desk, you can turn that into an ironing station, with a portable one. Just lay it on there when you go to press. Is way better than the curved corner ironing board. So all you beginners out there, just remember, rectangular, not curved.
You don't want any that have that sewed white on, do you?
Huh?
You don't want any that have that sewed white?
No, just throw that in the whatever pile. I should have went through them before sewing them, but I didn't. I went through all these and pressed them because they were really funky.
Where'd you get the wood?
The wood Scott found at the corner, on a corner,
Freebie pile.
a freebie pile of wood that when they're working on a house or something and building a house.
Somebody's front yard.
Oh, it's somebody's front yard. It was just at the curb. He found it and brought it home. It was bigger and it was funky cut, so he straightened it up for me.
Yep, we had to cut a hunk off.
Yeah, we had to cut a giant hunk off of it.
And I went and picked it up in the Geo, remember?
Oh
that?
yeah, him and Cyrus picked it up in the Geo.
Yeah. It was sticking out at the end and it went all the way into the front seat.
Yeah.
Yep, CJ and I got it.
All right, let's make some more combos.
This one is 5, but it's getting frayed here, so I didn't know if you wanted it.
Just throw it over there. No, just throw it over there. I'm going to be trimming them, but I'm not in the mood for all that.
Okay. Roll it back.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay. There's your pile.
Thank you.
What else can I do for you?
Nothing, honey. Whatever I make out of all this is going to look cool. I think it is. Huh? I have the Juki TL 2010Q. Scott, put a link in the chat. Purple and white. I don't think I've done a purple and white combo. Have I? I don't know. Probably. I don't even remember. I just am sewing. My lines. My sewing is just absolutely horrid. I cannot sew straight for the life of me. I'm still lining it up on the line, and I still seem like I'm kind of veering, but probably not. Just feels like I am. I don't know. Oop, come on. Line up. There we go. Yep, these squares are 5 inches to start. Yep. And we're going to be trimming them to 4.5 once I have made a bunch of combinations. this purple with this light. We'll do one of these. Just one though. Why? Because I can. I'll get this purple pile out of the way, I guess. Purple and yellow. Baby purple and dark purple. How about that? I didn't do any of that combination. So there'll be one. Well, two, technically, because I'm getting two at a time. All right, let's bring this over here now.
So your hair's blowing in the wind.
My hair, yeah, the fan is on. You know, up there, I ran out of bobbin. All right, I knew that was halfway one. Let's put a full one in now. See how long that lasts. Yep, my hair will blow. I didn't put any leave-in conditioner in my hair today because I just showered before the live stream. I haven't been feeling good today, so I figured, Scott figured, he's like, why don't you just take a shower and make yourself feel a little bit better for the live stream, you know? Because showers rejuvenate us and make us feel alive a little bit, right? You know, just the feeling of being clean. So I washed my hair, but I didn't put any leave-in conditioner in it, and it's like fuzzy. I guess I'm starting to swear by this whole leave-in conditioner thing because my hair definitely loves it. My hair is so dry and gross. And it's fuzzy and it's so thin. It takes just a little bit of breeze from the fan and it just starts going every which way but down. And to think I'm growing it past my butt purposely. So, you know. It's gonna just be even more frizzier and even more wind blowy. It's a good thing I have thin hair though, because it takes a lot of my hair. My hair was longer at one point in time in my life. It takes a lot of my hair though to make my head hurt from being in a headache. As long as if I don't put it up, I'm fine. If I put my hair up and have like a rubber band in my hair, oh, that just drives my brain crazy. Leaving it down, I'm pretty good though with it. Which is a good thing. I just don't look forward to sitting on my hair when it gets that long, since I'm going for the goal of past my butt. But right now, I think my hair is longer than it's been in over 20 years now. So that's a plus, that I've grown it this long without getting frustrated and chopping it off. I've always been one for short hair. I've always liked short hair. Not like super, super duper short, but I've always had at least chin length hair or shoulder length hair. But I always think I look better with longer hair, which I think, you know, that's my own personal opinion. But I just never wanted to grow it long. I always wanted to have it out of the way of my face. And the longer it gets, the more it's in my face. Oh, my pile's kind of big. It's time to turn them around and go the opposite direction. I'm tangling myself because I've made a continuous loop. Where's the end? Where does, okay, there it is. I don't know how many I've made so far either. As long as I have at or around 132 of them. Since I'm making 2 at a time, you know, should go pretty quick. Question, when is the start for the double wedding ring? Let's just say get your stuff together because we're going to do it soon. I didn't say it's going to be next weekend because I'll probably still be working on this, but
your goal
within
is May.
my goal is May, to start in May, because I don't know if you have watched my little short video that I posted this morning. That little short video contains the fabric for this mind changer of a lady that I'm going to be making my double wedding ring out of. Think about it. Just think about what you saw in that little video. You'll know when I finally, start. Because I'll show you guys, but...
You want me to cut these and start counting?
Oh, you can just cut them apart. There's the little...
Count? You said you didn't know how many.
Oh, yeah, you can count them. Because there's 2 per,
Earlier.
Oh. Just remember, each one is 2.
How about I just count them and then we can multiply by 2?
Okay, thank you.
Goodness. You want me to read or you want us to?
Oops, turn. Almost sewed twice on the same side. But yes, double wedding ring will be soon. So if you guys haven't gotten your stuff together, it's going to be a full start to finish project. That means the whole entire project, well, I'll probably do some things offline, but you'll see every step of the way, from the cutting to the piecing to everything. And it'll be done on Sew Sunday videos, because I feel like I do my best work in the evening time on Sundays than I do on Breakfast at Tiffany's episodes. So it'll be, during Sew Sunday episodes. And if you haven't already, I'm just going to remind you guys one more time. I am using the OmniGrid double wedding ring rotary cutting templates. Hold on. Let's remove this out of the way so that you can see the templates. All these templates right here, that's what I'm using. They're OmniGrid double wedding ring templates. You guys can do which ones, but I'm just going to follow this easy to use thing. It has 8 templates in it with the seam allowance to make a double wedding ring. And they have, a bunch of little ideas in here of what you can do with them. And it has the directions on how to piece them together. I really want to do this one. In the book, it's got one called Renaissance Romance, and it's got half square triangle pieces instead, and it creates this really cool design. I really want to do that one, but I don't know if I'm that daring yet on my first double wedding ring, because this is one that I've been waiting to do for years, and I just haven't done it. Even though I do curves like super easily, I just haven't done it yet. I'm not scared of it. I guess it was just one of those ones I know it's going to take forever, so I wanted the time, and I wanted to be better in my piecing to do it. So whenever the time comes, it's going to happen soon. That's when I'm going to do it. That's just what I'm using. I mean, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. That's what I'm using. And then I have chose not to do purple batiks, which I said I was going to do at the beginning. I have changed my mind. I want to go with a more traditional style. Like I said, in the video, the little short video I posted, that short video contains the fabrics that I will be using.
How many are you supposed to have?
How many am I supposed to have? I'm trying to make 132 or
Yeah,
more.
You have 100 here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm making more now.
Yeah, there's 100.
Okay.
5 stacks of 10, that's 50 times 2.
Okay.
This is way more than 32, honey.
Well, then I'll have more half square triangles for something else. I'm probably going to stop though, because I think I've been sewing them. A lot of them. What?
Find the pattern template.
So you might want to try my affiliate links first. I have tons of affiliate links in the description below this video. If you don't know how to get to that and you're on a cell phone, you just exit out the chat. If you're on a computer, it's literally underneath the screen and you press the more button. But you would exit out the chat and then hit that more button, and there's links to all my affiliate things. Yeah, there's that. That's how you'd find it. All right. How many did you say there were?
100.
Okay.
I don't know. I had just started these. There's 100 now.
Okay. Well, I don't want to overmake too much, so I'm going to stop here then. I'll turn these around and go the opposite direction in hopes that that is the amount I need. I want 1 half square triangle per every 1 thing. All right. So there's that on the half square triangles. Can I have the ones you separated? There's a pile that's not separated. Now to trim them apart. And then all this can go towards whatever. I can even border with it all, but I don't want to make them yet.
140. There's 100. There's.
Yeah, just give me all of it. Yeah.
Okay, there's 140 then. 140 so far. Just want me to throw all these in?
Yeah, just throw them on there. Yeah.
You don't want them counted?
Nope, don't need to count. So I'm going to trim all these apart first from corner to corner, and then go through and cut all of the pieces with this, with my Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer, my love-hate relationship ruler. It used to be, I used one from a friend. I borrowed it for a little while because I had made another quilt, and I thought, oh, that would be so much easier. And hers had a nick or something in it on the side, so every time I went with the ruler or the rotary cutter across it like this, it would nick it, and it just kept nicking my blade more and more. Since I overmade, I'm gonna just put this in 2 piles. One pile will go towards this quilt, and the other pile will go towards maybe a border for this quilt or something. I don't know yet. But I'm gonna trim them before pressing because I think it will be easier and less time consuming for me. I got all these dings in my mat. It's time to flip it. I'm gonna have to have Scott remind me to flip this mat this week because it's getting really bad. I cut mostly right here in this section. I try to alternate where I place my pieces too when I'm trimming things, but that way it's not always in the same spot. But you know, that's not like a for sure thing that it works that way. But it's always this part right here, the part that's next to me. Any
One
questions?
said turn it 180 degrees, one said turn it 90.
Oh, turn the whole thing. Yeah. Then my numbers are backwards, and I have an issue with the numbers the wrong way. Does that make any sense? This has it from 1 to 36 this way in front of me. If I turn it, it's going to be 1 here and 36 there. And then this will be upside down on that side. And I use the mat for cutting yardage. So I will then confuse myself. Trust me, I've done it before. It drives my brain crazy. So usually I just retire the mats from, I use both sides and then I retire them from in here and then they go on the cutting table in the fabric room after. And then the ones that are in the fabric room are so really ruined that those just get tossed in the trash. Technically not always in the trash though, because Scott uses it underneath his scooter as an oil catcher, not oil, but grease catcher from the bearings or whatever that leaks. They work great for under cars to catch oil. So you don't get your garage floor all filthy. Although we don't have a car that leaks, but it is a great idea to use the used ones underneath your car. And then you don't have to buy one of those under car mats because, you know, you just use your old cutting mat.
Did you tell me what I used your old mat for?
Yeah, underneath your scooter.
Where's your double wedding ring package?
You can take it out of the bag because it's probably easier to read. It's just in a store, a hefty bag.
Oh, was I supposed to show this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I have people messaging me and everything.
So that's the double wedding ring book that I'm using. It's not a recent thing either, so you might have to look online. This is from 2003. I had 2 sets though, one that had instructions and one that didn't. So I chose to use the one that had instructions. So I don't even know what size I'm making because it's somewhere there on the book, in the book. I'm looking real quick.
Have you ever bottom of your mini bags?
Old mats to put in bags? No, I never cut them up for that.
Are you using the slotted trimmer A or B?
I'm using slotted trimmer A, which is the half marks on it. Where is, there's got to be somewhere in here that says what size blocks these make. I'm kind of just like skimming over it. Doesn't even say, it just says the number of the trimmer on the things. Kind of curious. Sewing, measuring. I don't get that. Doesn't. Maybe the back of the book where the fabric amounts are. Well, to make a pillow is 15 1/4 inches, so if that's just one block. Honestly, it does not say anywhere that I have seen yet what size block this is. So I'm going to assume it's a pretty big standard size. Double wedding ring. Honestly, we're all going to be making different sizes because the book has the fabric yardage requirements, you know, so for me, at least.
You're not doing the one with the rounded edges, are you?
All have rounded edges. I have to come up with the squared edges for it. I'm not making mine with curved edges. I don't want mine curved edges.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I think it looks, my opinion, I don't like it. We'll just say that. So I'm going to go, even though I'm making mine more traditional than planned, I just don't want to do curved edges. I don't like that. I don't even like ruffled bed skirts, like the bed skirt that goes around and they're all ruffly and stuff. I never liked that. I didn't like it in the 80s either, when everybody had the comforters that it was a nice comforter on top, but it matched at the edge of the bed with a ruffle around it. I did not like that. I don't like that look. So I don't want a curved edge double wedding ring. I'm going to figure out how to make mine squared. But that's just my opinion. Everyone else has a different opinion. So the look of mine will be traditional at the same time as it will have my modern squared edge.
This doesn't show you how to do the squared edge. When you come to the edge,
Nope.
I don't know what you're going to do.
No, I'm going to find the different instructions on the intranet. But I'm pretty sure I can come up with it on my own. I've seen some people, they just applique it, you know, over the edge of something else. They fold it under, you know, fold the seam under all the way around all the curves, and then applique it on top of the, you know, they'll cut like an 8-inch piece of border fabric and then line it up and top stitch it. I've seen that.
Quilting Daily has a free pattern.
Quilting Daily has a free pattern. See, lots of places have free patterns on the internet, but if you want the templates for cutting out all the pieces and you want them to be acrylic and not the paper templates, then somewhere online you'll find it. And like I said, everybody's going to be doing something different. Not all of our double wedding rings are going to be from the same book and the same templates. It's the general idea of how to make it. That is what my videos are, the general idea of something. So you can follow along making your own thing. I will go by what I have, but we'll all be making something different. Because some of you are going to make smaller ones. Some of you will make the biggest that you can make, king size, which I don't know about making king size if I'm going to do squared borders, so. I think I'll do a queen, and then square the borders will make it a king size. All right. This is going to take a while. I can just fill it now. I'm not used to sitting and cutting either, so this is starting to hurt my neck. All right. Take a drink of water. And get started. I think I'm going to clip my hair up, though, for this, because I'm going to be out here trimming these for a while. I am covered. Look at that. I'm covered in little fabric spots.
The fabric lady.
All right. Here we go. Clearly perfect slotted trimmer. I use my desk and I take advantage of it when I trim with these. I literally line it up on the 4.5-inch line. Oh, I'm like seriously just barely trimming. And I actually use my desk to hold the ruler. Yeah, you can bring the camera in closer. And then I trim. I'm going to make such a mess here. So I line their sewing line up with my sewing line. I'm barely trimming these, by the way. So it's going to take a while just to barely trim anything off. And I use my desk to hold it. I think it helps me keep from getting too much of a hand cramp and taking it, you know, I shake, so I don't want to put my fingers. I mean, obviously we all trim like this with our hand on the ruler, and I do it all the time with every other ruler, but for some reason with this one, I feel like, and if you notice, I'm not using anything, I feel like my hand slips more in the other way, and I don't want to chop any of my fingers off because this is a triangle ruler. So I'm using the desk. It makes a great steady holder. And I just realized I'm not clipping the dog ears, so I can clip those after the fact, I guess. I'm so bad. See, I told you guys, I love to hate this thing.
Can that be done with any triangle ruler?
Yeah, you can do this with any triangle ruler. Use your desk as the foundation to hold it. I don't know. I just find less slippage this way. What can I do with 4-inch squares? Anything. You can do the same thing I'm doing with 5-inch squares. Turn them into half square triangles, except you'll have 3.5-inch half square triangles instead. And as you can tell, I'm trying to alternate where I'm landing. Oop, I should go from the underside. Yeah, I'm just going to cut the dog ears off after the fact. Because I just am not, yeah, I'm not in the mood. I'm not catching it as if that's a thing, right? I'm literally barely trimming these. I'm also catching the really mess up part of my desk right here. See this? I need to like move to a different spot on my desk. Right here, I guess, in front of me.
You just want a regular triangle?
Hmm?
Since you're having issues there, do you just want a regular triangle one?
No, I'm not having issues. It's just the desk. I mean yeah, see, this is why I can't cut right there, because that's in the way. Oh, and if you guys didn't know, since this is facing, you can actually use a regular ruler like this. Line up the 4.5-inch mark right here at 4.5, the piece, and the 4.5 right here. Line that up, touch the 4.5-inch mark here, and touch the 4.5-inch mark on the sewing line on the opposite side, like this. Come on, right there and right there. And then trim like that. And then you'll get yourself a 4.5 inch square. Just so you know, if you've never done it that way. So if you don't have any of these like slotted trimmers, you can also press them first and then trim them to the size, you know.
Is this the correct template set for the double wedding ring?
Is this the correct template set for the double wedding ring? What do you mean? The one I have, yes, it should be. Yeah. I think I'm going to stand though soon because my bum is starting to ache sitting here. I think I've been sitting too long.
Is your cushion not helping?
No, I think sitting, period. I think it just hurts the sacrum, honestly. Move this out of the way, move that out of the way. Slide that over and do this way. This is going to take me a while, you guys. So if you have anything you want to chit chat about, you can start talking.
Get your pillows you use on your chair.
Where did we get the pillows? This one came from a thrift store. This is for the lower back, and you can also use this to lay on the floor and then lay your back over it to start doing lower back exercises. And then this kind right here, Scott got it for me online where the tailbone sits in this section right here. He got it on eBay, and then your legs come off on this right here, and it's really good support. It's great for like the first, I don't know, 30 minutes for me, but after that, because my tailbone is so messed up, I started physical therapy, but obviously it's not making anything better. I'm just doing it so that I can get my MRI, because you guys know how insurance works. They'd rather pay for you to do a bunch of physical therapy than pay for the test to find out what's needed before ruining your body more with physical therapy. You know, anyway, that's my whole spiel. So I'm in physical therapy now to, you know, help it out, but it's not making anything better. It's not making anything worse either, but.
Can you take 5 squares and line them up on your mat and cut all at once?
No, I'd never cut my half square triangles when trimming all at once. Never. Why is that? Because when I lay this one on top of this one, my stitch line is not the same as the previous stitch line, even though I'm lining it up, right? Okay, so there's the stitch lines on top of each other, but I would have never saw this underneath. I would have never saw that trims the other way. So do not stack when you're trimming them like this. If you're pressing them first, opening them up and then pressing them first, do not stack them on the fold and cut them, because then you're going to mess up your corners. Always do one at a time. That's just how it works. You cannot do more than one at a time when it comes to trimming your half square triangles. And if you do, then that's probably why they are wonky, or you're having issues, or one is bigger than the other. Just do one at a time. I know everybody's in a rush to get stuff finished. I know I am. I always am. But I don't take that chance of having something coming out super wonky and then I can't use it, and then you'd have to cut more fabric, and you know how that goes. So just cut one at a time.
What's the best way to sew seams for grandmother garden quilt?
Best way to sew seams for grandmother's garden. If it's EPP, I have no idea, because I do not English paper piece. And grandmother's flower garden is an English paper piece project from what I understand. So I don't do that, so I would not know. But people in the chat might, because I don't hand piece. I mean, I have a hand piece quilt, but I haven't even quilted yet because I just don't like to hand sew. I'm a machine lady. But the whole goal of that quilt was to do everything by hand. And I'm at the point now where I just want to tie it and be done, but I really wanted to hand quilt it. I even got hoops to do it with. I just haven't done it yet. These are some really close cut. I was cutting it close, these squares. But they are the size I need them to be.
Have you ever made a fidget quilt for dementia?
I have not made a fidget quilt. Nope, for dementia patients. That's one thing I haven't done. I guess you can start pressing these for me. That way, yeah. Just press them to any side. It's not going to matter. You know what I mean? Unless it's these white ones, then press them to the dark. You know?
Okay.
But all the other colors should be just fine, no matter which way they're pressed. And then I'll cut the dog ears off.
I have a quilt I made 30 years ago. The back and binding are fine, but the fabric on the piece side is rotting away. How can I say that?
You made a quilt 30 years ago, and the fabric itself, the back and binding are fine, but the fabric itself on the piece side is rotting away. That means it's either been exposed to a lot of chemicals, or it's sun fading, or just overuse, or lots of washes or something. To fix it, you could applique over it, applique pieces over it, or I have seen over the years people have used when I fix quilts, by the way, I usually put something over it, or I make a block and I top stitch it in and just rip out that section. I've done that before. But I've also seen people just applique over it, or you could use the whole entire quilt as the batting for a whole new quilt made of the same style. So you just remake the whole quilt all over again, but newer fabrics that'll last longer, and use the current quilt as the batting. I've seen people do that. That way both quilts are, there. Or you can just take it apart and fix the parts that are bad. But that doesn't stop the rest of it from falling apart, honestly, more and more in the future. If it's already falling apart now,
What's the most time you've had on a quilt?
The most time I've had on a quilt was 6 months.
Oh, it was longer than that, wasn't it?
No, it was 6 months worth of work. I know you guys think I do all my quilts in under 2 hours, but I don't.
You made a one block wonder quilt.
I have not made one block wonder quilts. Honestly, you know what? The reason why I haven't is because I don't know. I just don't think I want to, honestly. I know everybody wants me to, but I got to get 6 yards of the same really busy fabric, chop it up into triangles, and then put those triangles together into hexagons or half hexagons. And I don't know. I just haven't done it. Maybe I just don't want to put the work in. I don't know.
Muslin good for binding.
Is muslin good for binding? I mean, you can if you want to. No one ever said you can't. It's plain though. I mean, I don't know if they make colored muslin. I've only seen white and off-white, white and cream colored. or natural is what they call it. It has little brown spots in it.
How long did you work on your memory quilt?
How long did I work on my memory quilt?
Your dream quilt.
On my dream quilt? Oh, not that long. Like
Videos,
6 or... Well, it's only one video's worth. I did it in one video's worth.
You didn't watch the video?
No, I didn't do all the pieces in one video.
Oh, okay.
Nope, I just did some of it. I spent probably like 18 hours piecing it in total. It still isn't quilted. I need to quilt the stupid thing. It's hanging in the closet. I took it out the other day to show a friend who was over. She's like, "What?"
For it yet?
I have backing. I just need to...
That was the problem. You didn't know it was on the back.
Oh, because I have to piece backing for it.
Oh, see?
I have to take a 108 and chop it up into pieces and then add to it. I got to split it and add, which isn't really that hard to do. I just need more because it's pretty big. I think. I don't even remember now. I had it out the other day, though, because a friend was over and it's like, this is what it looks like. How big is the darn thing? Because it's just literally hanging right here. Yeah, it's 108 by 108. It needs to be bigger because 108 fabric is only 108. That's why. What? What'd you say? Oh, Scott's ironing, Dawn.
He wants me to do an auction while you're doing that.
Oh.
I'm ironing.
He's ironing. You don't have to, though, right now. You can start an auction. All they're doing is watching me cut. Oh. He's just going to iron, though. Maybe later.
I never got any text.
Oh, and he never got any text. He can't type. He's ironing.
Well, I didn't get a text.
Oh, he didn't get a text.
Yeah. I never got a text. I'm ironing. Tell them we're having phone issues.
Yeah, we're having phone issues. We're thinking about getting
T-Mobile's not our
new
friend.
phones, but right now T-Mobile is not our friend.
Phones aren't working properly.
We're having phone issues, like bad phone issues, as in Scott's been trying to get a hold of the VA and they can't get a hold of them, and apparently not me either. Because I guess our phones just aren't working because they're too old, is what the Samsung people said. Oh, those are old models. You need new ones. So we're contemplating getting new phones, and that will entail having a new device for YouTube, hopefully. We'll see. Not necessarily, though. I might end up using the same one. The decisions have to be made, though, eventually soon, because if we keep missing phone calls, then, you know, we don't have a backup source of phone calls. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. The inappropriate quilter. How inappropriate of you. No, I'm just kidding. I like the name Inappropriate Quilter. Yeah, I really struggled when it came to renaming my YouTube channel, because originally I was Tiffany the Tattooed Disabled Quilter. It was such a long name, and when I would go on, you know, do the live streaming in the middle of the night before I needed 1,000 subscribers to even go live and all that stuff, you know, before anything, and I just barely had like 60 subscribers, I literally just like, I don't know, it just sounded so funny. And one day I was watching the Quilting Marine, and he's like, "Oh, Tiffany the Tattooed Disabled Quilter is here." And that just took so long for him to say. So it's like, I need to change the name of my channel. So finally I changed it, Tiffany's Quilting Life, you know, because it's my life and all it is quilting, you know, of some way or another. I'm doing something quilting related. And yeah, he still goes on.
I like him.
And so one day I get on and I'm watching Mark the Quilting Marine again, and he goes, "Tiffany's Quilting Life is here." And I was like, "It's me, Tiffany, the Tattooed Disabled Quilter." He's like, "Oh, you changed your channel name?" I was like, "Yeah, I needed it to be easier."
He's a good guy. I like him.
All right, I need to put this in the garbage before these little tiny pieces just, you know, overwhelm me right here. There's so much fluff. keep going. People have asked in the past about my Martelli cutter, about fatigue from cutting. That is one thing I don't get, so I'm just kind of starting a new conversation here, by the way, about rotary cutting fatigue. I actually get ruler holding fatigue over the rotary cutting fatigue, just so that you guys know that this Martelli cutter has saved me. And my hand that holds the ruler goes numb faster and starts having issues faster than the rotary cutting hand. In case you're curious, for those newbies that haven't tried a Martelli cutter yet, you should, especially if you have arthritis or carpal tunnel. What other subjects can I bring up while I'm doing this? I don't know. Give me something to talk about. Anything else that I've been working on? Well, I have not been working on anything else. What I work on is what you see. I did, however, I am long arm quilting right now, a client quilt that's going to be used in a show. So it's a show quilt.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I'm long arm quilting a show quilt, and it's very fancy quilting, and it's taking me days. I had to stop yesterday because I ended up with a migraine, and the migraine, since my doctor can't get me the migraine medicine that actually works for me, the pills that I currently have do not take migraines away. So it was a really bad night of migraineness and inability to fall asleep and then, or stay asleep.
Well, it's not your doctor, it's the insurance.
It's not my doctor, though. It's the insurance. They don't want to cover it, even though they know it works. They have covered it before. So anyway, I stopped working on it last night. So I'm like almost 3/4 of the way done. I'm right at the halfway point that starts the 3/4 of the way done. It's a pretty big quilt. The other day I did quilt the one that I made last weekend in pink. Did I make that last weekend? The all pink thing? Was that last weekend?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
I quilted that already. I just did waves on it to be done with. It's a baby quilt, so I didn't want it to be like a heavy quilting of any sort. All right, here's all this. I'm going to take these and start getting the dog ears off. All right, so now I'm going to trim the dog ears off of this. And these are going to be my half square triangles.
And all those over there too?
I have not cut them yet. I wanted to I'm just doing this in like sections, so I'm not doing the same thing over and over again.
I got plenty here. I was just asking.
Probably could use the rotary cutter faster than the scissors when it comes to this. My scissor cutting is slow. I'm really slow at it.
Off of these. They're all fine for you, the scissors.
No, I'm doing it now. It's fine.
I don't know what step you would work on though.
Yeah, I would cut more, but I don't want to cut more right now. I need to give my hand a break from the ruler.
You go live every Sunday?
I go live every Sunday, rain or shine, sick or not. There's only been a few times in my life that were really horrible that I did not go live. And when I'm sick, sometimes I've gone live from bed. But I always come on every Sunday at 5 p.m. Arizona time. Arizona does not change time. So it's 5 p.m. all year for me, but sometimes it's 8 p.m. and sometimes it's 7 p.m. Sometimes it's 6 and sometimes it's whatever for you guys in all those different parts of the country. And in the world, I have no idea because I don't know the time zones. I know that Europe is like, 16 hours away or something. I have no idea. Whatever. I do know that on Sundays, if it's 5 p.m. here, it's 10 a.m. in the morning in Australia, sometimes of the year, you know. I do know that because I have friends that are in Australia. So I know the best time to call them to catch them during the day is to call at nighttime, my time, the day before, which is the same day, but not. So I'm going to show you guys my goal with these and probably start sewing some of them so that you can see, since I do have a nice little pile going here. I have obviously that whole pile that I still have to trim, but it didn't matter which way these were pressed because they're going to be sewn into 4 patches. All right, I got some trimmed, so let's take these trimmed ones and start some 4 patches so that you guys can see what I am doing here. Give my hand a break from the cutting. All right, so here are my 4.5-inch squares, whole bag of them. Let me get this pin out of here. I had a pin holding it all together, or else it just ends up wrinkled throughout the thing. So I have 132 4.5-inch squares. I figured if I was to put these together alone, 10 across by 13 down, I'd get a 40 by 52 quilt. I really want it bigger. So the goal was to take 2 half square triangles, it doesn't matter where or what, and put them like this. I don't want 2 whites in the same, but let me just grab green. Here we go. Putting them like this as a 4 patch. So, and then sew the 4 patch together, which I'm going to do right here so that you guys could see. Just going to make sure that everything is lined up. I'm going to press them all towards the printed fabric because that keeps the bulk away from the half square triangle. Right sides together. And sew this seam. And when I open it up, it doesn't matter which side I press it to. I'm just going to press it to one side or the other. I will have a block that looks like this. So again, I'll just take random ones. They don't even have to be the same, you know. Have all the half square triangles going in the same position though, you know, down like this instead of out like that, you know, or like this. I'm going to have them all going this direction. And then that here and put this one here. And again, sew them together. I don't know. Scott says, like, how come is the one night that you don't have me sitting in my seat that Thumper's not in here stealing it?
All the other nights he's stealing it. I have nowhere to sit. I have to bring in another chair.
Because he's ironing, and usually Thumper steals the seat as soon as Scott gets up, but this time Thumper's not in here stealing any seats. Because he's stolen a kitchen table chair seat instead. And yes, I'm sewing without my seam guide. So if this is not accurate, it's not my fault. And then again, I'm just going to press to just one side. And this will be my blocks. And then when I stick them all together, the goal is all these blocks to go in the same direction. So let's make a couple more of these. Just random colors. They don't have to be the same. They don't have to be in the same position. And just 2. Let's put the blue on that side. We've already used one of those. Let's use this one. Just random, right sides together. This shouldn't take me too long to make all these. I'll probably do the most of everything off camera, you know, and then next week lay it out and put it together. But this is just the general idea of what I had in mind so that I was using all this up. So I'm just finger pressing. Okay. So I pressed towards these, not the triangles.
It'll be finished next week.
Yeah, I'll be able to finish it next week. But I figured it'd be easier to put 4 patches together than to line these up in rows, sewing each individual row with single pieces, you know, instead. So again, then this will go like that. And they will all kind of go in the same direction. And again, I'm just going to try to grab different ones so that they're not always the same with this teal color, because there's a lot more teal than there is anything else. And just randomly put in my little fabrics. Thumper is 12 years old, by the way. Oh, here's one that just dark blue that says flowers all over it. I'm just going to put all this in. And this is what I'm doing with my half square triangles. Super easy, totally beginner friendly of a quilt, you know. You can make it however size you want, however many squares you want. You can make something small, you can make something big, you know, with however many squares. So just start with an equal amount of, you know, these squares as you do your half square triangles. You can also start with just a layer cake and turn it all into 5-inch squares even, and cut 6-inch pieces of fabric to make the half square triangles, you know, so that way you can do 2 at a time. And then mix up a bunch of squares from 6-inch cuts of fabric. I didn't even match that right there, but who cares? I don't. I'm just gonna stick that in like that. I'm just gonna keep going. I want all my half square triangles though facing the same direction. There's a lot of repeats in here. I'm trying not to have all the repeats in the same spot, but I cannot control that at the moment. I'll just grab what I can. But it's a fun little idea just to use up, you know, if you have scraps, a bunch of scraps that you can cut into 4.5-inch squares, and a bunch of 5-inch, you know, scraps or whatever. It doesn't even have to be like this. You can take a bunch of solids, like I just got a bunch of solids at Walmart, you know. You could take a 5-inch cut off of each color and, you know, start making half square triangles and use a layer cake and cut it up and, you know, do that, or scraps or whatever you want. I just figured it was a fun, easy little block. But in the end, all these half square triangles are going to go in the same direction, so it'll give it some kind of flair, you know, because it'll be like this. It'd be like one giant Jacob's ladder block. You know what I mean? If you do this, see? It all goes in the same, and then these will be all straight down like that. Let me move these out of the way. Press them and we'll put them on the wall when I get a couple more made. Let's take 2 of these. I'm just making sure that every time all these are going in the same direction. There's a green one in that, even though we've already used that color, but we're going to use a bunch of them anyway. I think I've made just the right amount of half square triangles that I got to trim all up, but we'll do that. I'll do that stuff off camera. Yeah. The rest of everything I'll do off camera and get it all prepared to lay out and put together. But if I press everything the same way, then each block will nest when I go to put it all together, because everything will be opposite. Oops, I don't know why I cut thread. That was a retard move. I don't know what I was thinking. Duh. All right. Press, and then that would be right there. You know, over and over again until it's all done.
Have they seen the blocks?
Yeah.
These are pretty. I like the beads.
So I can make them go the same direction, different directions, however I please. And it'll be a very springtime, Easter themed kind of quilt. I'm just going to say spring though, because there's no bunnies on here. It's flowers and bees.
That'd be cool if we had some with bunnies, though.
It would be cute if there was bunnies, yes.
It'd be very Eastery.
Go like that. Let's do 2 more. As long as these are facing the same direction. This pink one. And this little bees right here. Just having fun with it. As long as everything is that same direction when I lay the blocks and put them together. And this is the things you can do with half square triangles. Super simple, super easy, beginner friendly. You can get a lot done in a short period of time doing this kind of stuff, you know, because it's not complex. There's only one seam to nest, and that's when you join the blocks together. And even then, mine are not perfect. I never said I was a perfect piecer, you know, so they're not perfect. But we'll just keep making blocks like this. Oh, let's use the yellow on this one. Sure, why not? I haven't used the yellow yet. You can even do this with bigger blocks if 4.5 is too small. And you can, you know, do 6 and 8. But then you're going to have really big half square triangles to go with whatever size piece. All right, so I'm going to press some of these real quick so we can hang them up on the wall.
Yeah.
So let me press these blocks. I'm off camera for 2 seconds to press all these, and we're going to put them up on the wall. And Scott will put the camera back the way it was. And then you guys can get a general idea of what I'm doing here when I have my little visions in my head and say, oh, this looks good while I'm playing with fabric, you know, which it does. It looks really cute. And the mixture I think is great. And this all came from stuff that's been in a box in the closet that I cleaned out to put all those solid fabrics in that I bought from Walmart. And I'm not caring if I have nested seams fully. I mean, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, you're not even going to be able to notice because I'm not making like pinwheels or anything. So it's not like it really matters. All right, you can put the camera back the way it goes.
Okay.
We'll put these on the wall so they can see how this idea, I'm just going to put what I have done so far on the wall. Try to mix them up a little bit. You can tell that it's going to be so cute.
It is cute.
And I don't really care how much of one color is in one spot because, again, there's more teal than there is anything else in this whole entire quilt. The only thing I'm going to watch for is white fabrics touching the white solid. I think that's the only thing that I'm going to kind of pay attention to, you know. Oops, right here. And if you put all these half square triangles in the same exact way, everything will go. Oh, let's put this one here first. That way that white's mixed around because there's a lot of white. I mean, there isn't a lot of white compared to all the other darker colors. Look at that. So far. And then they'll all face the same way, but you still see your print. And then you get that pop of color with the half square triangles, you know? I think that's going to look amazing. And I don't know how big this is going to be because there's so many half square triangles and there was 132 regular fabrics, you know? So if I just keep continuing on putting all these together, I'm just going to make a couple more. I know I'm like literally right here in front of the camera. It feels like I'm like super high, but that's okay. We'll sew some more of these, get them up onto the wall.
Want me to put the camera down now?
Oh no, it's fine. Just leave it. It's fine.
Tell me what your design wall is.
My design wall, for the person that asked what my design wall is, it is just a piece of cotton batting. That's all it is. I cut 72.5 inches or so because it doesn't, I should have cut it bigger to fit behind the shelves so it stops getting pulled forward. But it's 72 by however long the batting was, 100 and something inches. Actually, no, we cut the top because we didn't want it to be at the ceiling because it's 120-inch batting that we have. So I cut it so it's not at the ceiling all the way because I can't even reach up there anyway, so there was no point in having it all the way that high. But it's just cotton batting and it's pinned to the wall, that's it. So the top has little, what are they called, push pins, you know? And then the bottom is folded under my mat down here on the floor. I have a anti-fatigue, was supposed to be anti-fatigue mat for the chair to roll around on, but it doesn't work that way. Anyways, it's holding the other end in that goes onto the carpet because it was, you know, a lot of overhang. So I'll just come over there, press, place on the wall. Grab some more. Put some more of these in. All facing that same direction. It's not that hard. Very fun. I think
Lower right one correct?
is the lower right one correct? Yeah, they're all facing the same way. The seam runs this way on all of them. Yeah, I have it all running. It's just because it's white. It's because the white's mixed in.
Oh.
This one has white in it too, so it's just the white. It makes it look different. But we're not trying to have anything like, you know, it's not meant to be uniformly in a way to where it looks like it belongs, you know, but we're trying to have fun with it. See, that white makes it look weird.
Can a bobbin be overfilled?
A bobbin can be overfilled, but your machine would have something wrong with it if it's overfilling bobbins. Because it's supposed to stop at a certain point. All machines are meant to stop at a certain point. And if it's still winding, then there's something wrong with your machine. So you might want to have that checked out. But yes, you can overfill a bobbin and then it's not usable because it won't fit in the case. Like for those that have drop-in bobbins, it'll just be too big and it'll make a big thread mess down in there and it get tangled up. Yeah, one of my old brother machines, the old ones, it was from like the 80s. The bobbin winder didn't work on it, so I had to manually stop it because, or else it would just keep going and going and going. Obviously, I still don't have that machine. I got rid of it. I got rid of all my older model brother machines and Kenmore machines because, yeah, I didn't use them like I should have. Once I got the Juki, I was like, I don't need any of this stuff anymore. Alright, let's create some more color. See, it's going to be quite the looker of a quilt, huh? Just two simple things, a half square triangle and a solid piece of printed fabric. Who knew? Something so simple could look so complex. And it's fun. I'm enjoying myself, and that's a good thing. We want to enjoy ourselves. If we're not enjoying ourselves, then we shouldn't be sewing. Go to a different hobby. And then come back to it. Also, I'm getting in my steps today, walking back and forth now. Oops, I don't want to put white next to white, so let's go that way with it.
You can go up or down, too.
Oh, I know. I'm going over at the moment. I have two more. I need to trim off some more dog ears off of more pieces. That way I have more. But again, I'll do most of the piecing of all this off camera because I still have to trim more half square triangles because I definitely do not have enough over there in that pile that Scott pressed to start. I mean, I had enough to start, but not enough to cover all the 132 solid blocks that I had.
And I'll cut off your little corners for you. I told you that.
That one shifted over a little bit, but guess what? I don't care because guess what? I'm not that kind of person. So I'll hold this up to the camera so you can see. See the gap between here and here? It's not touching properly. I didn't care. I'm not nesting it perfectly, you know. I'm not trying to be 100% about this. I'm just having fun. I cut some more dog ears off here. And it doesn't, you know, it's not seeming to matter that there's more teal than there is the other colors, but I think it looks cool. Let's cut a couple more. So we have a few more minutes. All right. having fun. Having so much fun. Showing you guys new things, you know, that you can do. Pretty sure people have done this before in the past. It's probably why I don't create that many extra patterns, because so many people have created patterns already that there's probably something that everybody's done that someone else has thought about that someone else has already done, but you didn't know because it's older or it's, you know, not listed online, or, you know what I mean? It wasn't even a free pattern given to the public or paid for purchase, but someone else created it, you know, which has happened to me before. I made something, I put it on YouTube, and a few months later, a big person, a big name, had that same pattern. So she was probably working on it at the same time, but I had mine done first, you know? Like, everybody thinks of the same thing. I'm going to put this one down here and this one up here instead, though, because the white, just because I'm trying to mix things up. I'm also not trying to put two of the same in the same thing. I'm trying to mix them up. So I don't want two of the same ones, you know? I don't care if they're going the same direction, but I don't want the same exact piece in one and another, if that makes any sense. But just so that things are mixed up a little. Close that blade. We don't want to leave that blade open because I tend to throw my rotary cutter or drop it, which you guys have seen me do. I did today's video already, dropped it upside down. So much, like, this just looks so awesome. So much interest in it, even though it's pretty much the same fabrics repeated, you know? Oops, come on, stay lined up, thank you. I'm looking at it through the camera. It actually looks really cool. If you guys have any questions, ask them now, because we're soon going to be done. We're almost at our 2-hour mark. I try not to be longer than 2 hours on Sundays and on my Breakfast at Tiffany's as well, on any video nowadays. Honestly, you know, I don't like to keep up too much of you guys' time, since you do see me once a week and twice a week in some weeks. You see me at least 6 times a month, sometimes, no, actually 7 times a month, because, well, you don't really see me in my open gate ones, but. Oh, and if you're curious, this is a 8.5-inch block. Let me make sure. 8.5, 8.5. Yep. It's an 8.5-inch block. I knew it was 8.5. I probably should have said that out loud, you know. But there that is. You can push the camera back down. I'm going to sit for the last few minutes.
Okay.
You can turn that off too, because I'm done for now. So, this is all I'm doing, and it's quite the look, I think. I like it. So, you know, and you can do this anything. Just take a bunch of fabrics, you know. You could even have these be the prints, the half square triangles, and have the squares be the solids. You could even do the opposite, and I think it would still achieve a really cool looking quilt, you know. You guys have any questions, though, ask them now.
Do you make Thumper cat toys?
I do not make Thumper cat toys, but I have sewn his cat toys to fix them because they end up ripping. because he messes with them so much, but he loves those certain toys, so I had to fix them, you know.
You charge to subscribe.
Do I charge to subscribe? No.
No.
My subscriptions on YouTube is free. I don't have memberships or any of that stuff. And I will never have those. I don't need any of the extra things that I'll probably never give you guys anything for. So there's no need for it. If you want to support me in any other way, I do have donation links in the description below every single video, and I think on my About Me page. So
I'll put the link in. It's Exclamation Bacon,
yeah,
right?
yep, Explanation Bacon will give you the links to it. And those are just your way of saying thank you for all my free content, you know, and helps me keep making you free content.
What are your thoughts on machine embroidery on solid blocks?
Machine embroidery on solid blocks.
Do you do that?
I've done that. Yes, I put some butterflies on blocks, and you know, I have not put that butterfly quilt together yet. Maybe I should dig that one out in the future.
You put butterflies on that?
Well, yeah, I put dragonflies on the quilt behind the camera. My dragonfly quilt, you guys have seen that, my dragonfly dance. It's the one I entered into the SewingMachinesPlus show. I've put applique stuff on plain blocks. I have not made a full applique blocked quilt yet, though. I have the butterflies that I did for it. I just never, I don't even know where they are. They're somewhere in between this room or the other room. And I just haven't chose sashing for it. I needed a sashing color that would look good. But now that I have all those solid fabrics, technically I have sashing now. I just need to put the quilt together. Because it's all butterflies, all embroidered butterflies, and it'll be really cool. I just got to find the blocks to do it. Maybe before I start my double wedding ring, I'll dig for them and get them done one of these weekends. They're somewhere. Matching scraps. Those are just scraps. Started project. There's 2. I don't see them in that one. And those are just my blocks from my 5252.
Do you think this would work for an I Spy?
This would work for I Spy. Exactly. This is like perfect. You could put these half square triangles in all sorts of colors, and then put all sorts of random fabrics, food fabrics, or, you know, children's prints. You know, choose some really bright, fun, colorful solids to go with it, you know, and do children's prints. I'm just doing them into 4 patches. I think that's just going to make it easier to put the whole quilt together instead of by rows, because there's going to be a lot of blocks. The goal was to have a bigger quilt than what just these would have been on their own. So, all right. So, anything else before I get off of here? Fabric with bacon. I see
awesome.
that. There's bacon on the fabric that I got from the store on the waffles fabric. I think that was bacon on it. Slices of bacon and strawberries on the waffle
I'm sure you
fabric.
have fabric with bacon on it. I'm pretty sure a fan sent you something on purpose because it had bacon on it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for hanging out. I'm going to get going and finish a movie that we watched, My Cousin Vinny. We started this morning, and we're going to finish that. I'm going to kick my feet up and just relax the rest of the day. And I hope you do too. So,
we're going to do it.
or so.
So, deal with cell phone people.
And deal with cell phone people, because we really need to figure this out. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you next video. Bye.